Hello everybody, Iain Robson here, and welcome to the edition of Texas. Alright, we got this going on today. Oh goodness, that was like a really delayed response there. I was like, oh right, I need to talk after that too. Jeez. Anyways, alright, we got this going on today. As you can see, we have the canola. It is all ready to go. It's been fertilized, it's been seeded, and now it is ready. And as you can see, I started up the New Holland here. And what I'm going to do is set this guy up on unloading the combine. Yes. And we'll set him up for a manual. And I guess I should set him on his way first too. That would always help. And let's go. Alright, so that guy should do the unloading without us having to do much. What I'll probably do is I'll probably set him up so he stays on the left side of the, well, not in the field, hopefully. Oh, look at that, it's working properly now again. I don't know why that didn't work the first time. Must have been something small. That was the problem. I don't know what the exact reason was, but could have been anything really. Ooh, apparently a Vader spot's on sale. Apparently I missed a little bit of that. Let's just see the sale here. Oh, I forgot. Actually, I picked up a new mod. It's the Vaderstadt mod. This is from a Farm Sim May website. You get the Rapid 300C and the Top Down 500. No, maybe that's the one I was thinking of before. Pretty solid mods. Nothing too crazy there. I don't think I've picked up anything else. That's not true. I did pick up a couple other buildings. That oh, and the Marshall pack as well, actually, now that I think about it. Where is it? And I picked up this one. I haven't tried this one out yet, so I don't know what it's like. But it should be decent. There's the Marshall pack there again. But where's the buildings I picked up? Probably in here somewhere. Here they are. This is the one that I've been trying out for, because we have the bale extension now. We have to take into consideration, we have to make sure that things are covered. And so far, the building we have at the moment is fine. However, we will need to, we might adjust it. We'll see how it works out. For the time being, it's pretty good. Not a big problem or anything yet, so I'm pleased with that for the moment. I was messing around with the, this one right here on another save game, and it seems to be working relatively well. You have to set it up in the proper way. That was the only real caveat to that particular building, because the way it worked is like if you went in from the one side with your auto stacker, it was not okay, and then if you went in with the other from the different side, it was a problem basically. So you just need to go in from the right side. Usually the way it works, a lot of those particular things, so. Alright, so let's turn around here. It's funny how much slower it is to turn around when you have the header on. Like, it's pretty silly, actually. You'd think it would be quick, but it's really not at all. Also, I noticed that our John Deere, the John Deere 6810 that we have, is actually getting dirty. Which is kind of funny. Oh, it doesn't come up like that. Weird. The John Deere 6810 is actually getting a little bit dirty. Nothing too crazy, but you know, just a little bit. So it does actually have dirt script on it, looks like. I wasn't sure, but it seems to. As you can see. Why does it think there's... Oh, must be the... Oh, that's strange. Why does it think there's a bale of hay inside of it? That's weird. Must be coming from over here. Just apparently it's like coming from the other side, but it makes it. Oh, that's really strange. Oh well. Anyhow, this is what happens when you look at these types of things. And you're like, what's that? Ah well, it's pretty cool stuff. All right. I've been looking at computer parts lately for Boxing Day to see if there's any Boxing Day sales or whatnot, or after Boxing Day, you know. I always keep an eye out for potential parts that may or may not come out during that time. And lately I've been looking at putting together a new PC just to see what's what and who's who sort of thing, to see how much it's going to cost. It's always, I know I had a couple people comment from previous videos asking or mentioning the fact that choosing a PC that'll play Farm Sim smoothly can be a little daunting if you've never done it before. Luckily, I've put together a few PCs, so it's not crazy for me, but you do have to make sure you get all the appropriate parts and make sure everything works well. One of the things I always find is the most helpful, of course, is looking at the reviews. The reviews basically tell you whether it's going to be good or bad in a lot of cases. And like what I tend to do, at least, is I tend to look up what is a recommended piece of equipment, and then go check the reviews about it, because sometimes what they recommend and what people have experienced is two different things, so it's possible that what they say is good isn't actually good. So it's always interesting. I don't know, it's one of those fun, well, I like it. It's like window shopping, essentially. So you gotta check to see what parts you want versus what parts you can afford, etc., etc. It's fun. I like seeing like what other people put together as well, which is always interesting. Because a lot of the time, people will try to put together a machine and then they run into problems sometimes. Other times, there's no difficulty at all. It really depends on what they're trying to do. Alright. Hopefully, at one point in the future, I'll have two systems set up, so I'll have basically like a backup system, which will be really nice. Because then I'll be able to, essentially, if something should happen to the primary system, I'll be able to revert back to the other system and use it for recording, for example, or just some general internet stuff, I guess. I don't know. I guess it would work out as like a secondary machine for my girlfriend too. She needs to use it for whatever reason. I know some people only have a laptop. I don't know. I have a laptop. Well, I technically have a laptop, but it's an old laptop now. So it doesn't really do anything anymore other than just sit down or sit in the corner and collect dust this particular time. I don't know. I bought it in like 2003 maybe or something. So at this stage in the game, it's pretty old. I think it's like a Pentium 2. And when I bought that, it was kind of like, hey, this is a pretty fast machine. And now it's like, I can't even put. I tried to put Linux on it a while ago, and latest edition of Linux, Ubuntu, it's called. I wasn't able to put it on because the computer doesn't It's also a laptop, which apparently makes a bit of a difference with Ubuntu as well. But basically, Ubuntu is like an operating system, just like Windows. It's open source though, which is really cool. So that means you don't need to pay for it. It's free, which is really cool. It's very similar to a program like Open Broadcast Software, for example, which is a program I tend to use a lot for recording and for live streaming. And also, you can use, what's another example of that? Open Office is the one I'm thinking of. Open Office is basically like Microsoft Word, or well, Microsoft Office, except for free, open source. And the funny thing is they are like interchangeable to a certain extent. Like as long as you save in the right file format, you'll have no problem. With it, which is pretty cool. So if you're like me and you don't want to buy Microsoft Office because all you really use it for is Microsoft Word, then kind of gives you the ability to use Microsoft Office, quote unquote, for free. But it's called Open Office, so I like it. I was reading the Farmers Forum today, I guess it was. I read the Farmers Forum a lot, if you hadn't gathered that. And there was an interesting article in there about a guy who lives, where was it? Eastern Ontario, so just close to Ottawa. And it was him like with a picture of his combine, and he was combining corn at the time. And I guess he had some wind damage from the corn, or the corn got some wind damage, and it was all like it all fell over, which is really sucks. But so he had that, and basically in Eastern Ontario, I guess there's lots of problems in terms of planting, because I guess they got a late planting season. Apparently, according to what they were saying in the article, in May there was only like some 20 days of rain or something like that, and there's only 3 days of full sunshine or something ridiculous like that. I was pretty surprised by how little rain, or how much rain I should say, we actually got during that time. That's funny, like years like this spring you'll get situations where it will be, you know, rain non-stop, but then another year you'll get a situation where it is sun non-stop and you'll need the rain, so it works both ways. I guess depending on which state you're from, or province, I suppose. I know a lot. I think it's more common in the States, but I know it happens here as well, as with irrigation, like having a watering system set up. I don't know how often it's used for crops, but I know for some high value crops it is used. So I don't know. That's one of those things where you kind of just I don't know. I'd be interested to see it work. And I remember when I went to an event a while back, they talked a lot about irrigation systems for potatoes specifically, which I guess in a lot of cases people needed irrigation for potatoes, like extra water essentially. It might have been the opposite scenario though. I didn't sit down and talk with anybody there about it specifically, but it might have been in relation to getting water off the fields and whatnot, but that's more to do with like tile drainage and whatnot, so I don't know. Ooh, look at that. This is the cool thing, when you have course split like this, you can do stuff like this, so you can just drive the combine. I don't know, I like driving the combine, it's nice and relaxing, but it's not for everybody. I don't know, some people like to unload, some people like to drive the combine. Either way really works in reality. Also, whoa, what happened at the end there? Why did I get wheat? That was weird. Also, what we're trying to work towards is... that's strange. Also, what we're trying to work towards is I'd like to get... where am I here? I would like to get some mowers, which are right here. There we go. These guys right here. So we need 60 grand is what we need for those. Because I would like to make a little bit of hay for our cows, because right now our cows just have straw, and they're 10% productive, which is awesome. There's no water mod in this, which I'm kind of surprised about. I know some of the other maps have the water mod installed, and they also have the pig mod installed as well. So, oh, it even shows the course, what course it's doing. That's cool. Just realized that now. Yeah, so I don't know why I didn't install. I guess I could go out of my way to install that on this map, but I'm not that worried about it. Doesn't bug me enough to have it. Oh goodness. Yeah, I've been messing around with the bale extension mod a little bit. With the one that I mentioned, I think last episode, I guess it was now. And I was just seeing what it was like in terms of, you know, what happened when you left your bale outside. And things along those lines. It was kind of interesting to see how it changed. So like today, it's all sunny in the game right now, so it'd be a good day for baling hay or straw. But if we're cloudy, it actually increases the moisture, and as far as I know, it actually affects the price to a certain extent as well. Now, as you remember, when we were selling bales on this particular map, we got quite a bit of money. Well, more money than I thought we would get for them. Mind you, this is on normal. I kept this particular series on normal just because it'd be quicker to progress through certain things as opposed to taking a long time to get a lot of money kind of idea. You know, it keeps the progression nice. I could play hard, like, it's not a big deal. It just means I end up playing more off camera. I know some people like that, some people don't like that. It's always... everyone's got their own opinion, so I like to do a little bit of both. So sometimes I'll play off camera, sometimes I won't. It really just depends on the map itself and how I'm feeling. I tend to play a different game when I'm not recording. I tend to play other games just because it keeps, whenever I come back to this game, it keeps it fresh, so to speak. Because, well, I guess right now, specifically in Farm Sim Land, there hasn't been a whole lot of mods coming out. And that's primarily because they haven't released the documentation, so we'll see. Maybe in February, when they're supposedly going to release the documentation for it, that's when we will see an increase in mods. Well, that's when they released it last time. It may be different this time, it may not be. It's hard to say, but I don't know. I'm curious to see what some of the big guys are going to bring out, like NM modding or UDZN or OAB. Like, I know OAB is working on the Extreme Bailing Pack. They've been tasked with converting that over to FS15. And I know they're not going to release it until it's a solid mod. Because they tend to release really good stuff, so. They're the people who released the Lizzie high-tip truck, or front loader in FS13. Which is a pretty cool little mod there. Apparently he's not full yet. I guess I could have the inspector mod installed to see how full he is, but I can kind of guess based on the trailer itself to see how full it is as well, so. Nice. Man, I love the GPS mod. It's so cool. Some people probably think that's cheating. It's basically like hiring worker. I suppose it is to a certain extent, but I'm just pretty bad at staying straight, so I'd like to have the GPS mod just to make sure I don't screw it up, because I know I would. Actually, it's not so bad for harvesting. What it really is, what it's nice for is when you're seeding or cultivating. And I remember talking to some guys a while back about the GPS, not GPS mod, but GPS in real life, like auto steer and whatnot. And I forget how much they would have said they would save, but if they, let's say for tillage, like if you're doing like fall tillage or spring tillage, if you were not to go over the same spot, like over a few inches, you basically save, you know, X number of dollars of fuel and X number amount of time. Oh, I thought he was going in a circle there for a second. I was like, wait a minute. What? I have been fiddling around with this map actually in Giants Editor. I added some road down here just to see what it looked like, and I didn't like it, so I took it out. Because originally my idea was like, hey, maybe I'll make the map have like a east-west road, like this road right here, and then have a road that goes down there, instead of having around the outside, but I ended up not doing that just because it just didn't look right to have a road going through the middle. There's just not enough space between each of the fields for it to look good. So that's why I didn't do it in the end. Although it's pretty easy to fiddle around with it. I'm just kind of curious to see what it would look like. So also, I took out this cabin here because this is, I don't know why it's here. It just didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, why is there a random cabin here? Like, and it's not necessarily like a full cabin. It looks like it's in the ground, but it's actually, that's the way it's supposed to look, so. Oh, what are you doing out of here? A+. Oh, actually, this quality has gone down, actually. Because this was 288 before. And maybe he changed it again. There was an update to the bale extension. And that was particularly because when the bales were... when you stood close to the bales, they would rock back and forth, basically. And it only started happening once I installed the mod, so there was an update already to the mod, and he fixed that relatively quickly, so now they don't wobble back and forth when you're close to them, which was really strange. It was really strange that it happened in the first place. It was kind of like, okay, so why is this happening? But it was, and he fixed it, which is good, so he's pretty on top of his mods. So, pretty happy about that. We should probably go check out the BGA. Because that's the biogas plant right there, and then up in here, this is where you sell your wood. And there's a forestry section up there. But I don't know if there's grass up there. Well, that's not true. I guess there's this number 7 down here is grass already that we could technically use. But I don't know. It might work out well. One thing I probably should try this time around is because I'm using Courseplay, I'll try with the round baler this time around, because we actually could do that. Yes. We could. I might try that, but we already have the square baler, so. So one of the things I don't like about the round baler is having to... I'm really bad at stopping in time in order to release the bale. I don't know why, but it's just one of those things that I'm bad at. Because I always end up missing some. I suppose it would be the same way in real life, although you can actually overfill bales in real life, and then you run into a really big problem. Like if you overfill a bale, I guess overfill a bale, you can get like just a monster. And either A, it gets stuck, or B, the tractor you're trying to use to move the bales can't move it. I've seen that before, where someone had like a little small tractor trying to move like, normally there'd be like 4-foot bales, but in this circumstance, I think they were trying to move like a 5 or 6 foot bale, and the tractor was like a little tiny little tractor. It did not bode well for the tractor at all. It was like the front end was like getting weighed down and all sorts of nonsense. Alright. I don't know if that guy's gonna meet. He's gonna get there in time. Probably not. Nice. Gotta wait for him to catch up. So this is one of the nice things about it. You can actually, if you wanted to, I could stop the driver or send him home, or if you have multiple drivers, you can set the priority. So distance would be how close the driver is, or what's the other one? I forget. How full they are. So if they're not, so this guy's empty, for example. So if I had this guy who was empty and the other guy who was full, this guy would come first, basically. Stuff like that. Nice. Let's take a quick peek and see how much the other fields are. I'm kind of curious now. Ooh, wow. That's expensive. 540, 365, 390, 700, 445. Yikes. $1 million for field 13. So, they're kind of expensive fields, apparently. Good to know. So if I want to buy a field, apparently I need to make a ton of money. And we might make a ton of money off this. It's hard to say. It's canola, and right now the price of canola is fairly high. So you have 32,000 liters. It's at 851, 1127, or 1127 at the grain elevator. Yeah, so we'll make a decent amount of money per load, basically. So for every, essentially, it'd be like for every 100,000 liters, we'll make a good chunk of change with our 100,000 liter. Our 100,000 liter trailer. I still haven't found a good trailer yet. Like I've been looking around to see what other trailers I can find, and this one's the only one I found so far. And I still haven't messed around with the tires yet, but I'll just leave it for the time being. I still haven't found a decent replacement for this yet. And there actually, this particular trailer is causing some errors, I discovered in the log. I was looking today or yesterday, and there were some errors in relation to it, which was really annoying. I was like, ugh. Come on. But it's definitely just a convert. So, not a lot of effort was put into it, I guess. Or maybe it was, I don't know. It's hard to say. So, it's unfortunate. I would have liked to have seen a more polished version of it, but I guess I'll have to live with what I have so far. I tried to convert a trailer, but was unsuccessful, so... trying to convert the old Wilson trailers that were really nice. There was a white one and a black one, and they had metals on the side and whatnot. And I really liked them, but they unfortunately did not work out so well, so c'est la vie, I guess. Alright. I wonder if we're going to finish this field in time today. Maybe. We're about halfway done, maybe? Less than half? Yeah, I guess it's less than half. I could finish it, but it would be a lot of this, so I don't think I'll do it all on camera. It's funny, some people really like to see the harvesting on camera, and some people are like, maybe something else. But the problem is, at this rate, there aren't many fields we can really afford yet. So, I'll have to keep that in mind as well. We could always get the BGA, I suppose. With the BGA extension and whatnot. You do tend to make quite a bit of money over time, I guess is what it is. It's not necessarily all at once. Like with the BGA extension, it's always a constant flow of money, which is nice, as opposed to just, you know, when you dump the silage into it, it just gives you the money. So, and the cool thing is actually you can put stuff like wheat and straw, or not. Can you put straw? I don't know. Well, you can put wheat, that's for sure, and canola. And the nice thing about those types of things, if you put them in the BGA extension, if you have excess, let's say that first of all, what it'll actually do is actually increase the amount of solids in your BGA, which apparently is good. Or so I've been told, at least. Alright, folks, I think we'll stop it there for the time being. What I'll do is I think I'll finish harvesting... maybe we'll come back. We'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes for the time being. Alright, folks, that's it for me for today. My name is Iain. Robson has been Farming Simulator 2015, coming at you from Texas. Catch you guys later.